If you love Baltimore sports, you'll love WNST.net.
Hall of Famer, Super Bowl champion. I can't even believe it. I break out my hives when I say that. Although you never really beat us in the Super Bowl. You only beat us to get to the Super Bowl. Right.
Yeah.
Tough year for the Steelers. I mean, we'll talk about that for a minute because we like to glow in the, we like to bask in the glow of that. But a tough year for them, kind of all unraveled late in the year, which is uncharacteristic of them.
I think it more or less was unraveling during the course of the year.
Okay.
The losing the tough ball games early on, after having a lead, losing them in the fourth quarter.
They never did that,
games
right?
Games that they were winning last year in the fourth quarter. They seemed not to have that intensity, that edge. Like, okay, here we are, we can win this, but we got to really push to win it. And then some key injuries didn't help the situation any. But when you lose to teams that you're supposed to beat, and whenever we play against the Ravens,
especially at home.
Well, yeah, but when you play against the Ravens, I give that a 50-50 toss-up, okay, because they're a good football team, and so you kind of measure it that way. But teams that are below 500 every year and not really competitive, you're supposed to beat those teams. And they lost to Kansas City.
Cleveland
they
and
lost
Oakland.
to Cleveland,
right.
And they lost to Oakland. These are three teams you're supposed to beat. If they win these three ball games, they're in the playoffs. They win one of those games, they're the wild
Here's the funny story, Lynn. If they would have lost to Minnesota but beat the Browns, they'd have made it.
Yeah.
I mean, how weird is that? Just the quirk of the way the tiebreaker works.
Yeah. But you see, that's a 50-50 game against Minnesota.
Right.
But they win that ball game.
Right.
And then they come back and lose to Cleveland. Right. So those are the things that I think hurt the team. Not so much how they played against the better football teams.
Hey, what do you think about their receivers? I'm interested to hear your insight on the three main guys now. Santonio Holmes, Hines Ward, obviously, who isn't one of our favorites, and this new kid, Mike Wallace, who had a hell of a year for them. Give me your thumbnail on all those guys.
I think it's a good group. I am surprised that the Hines Ward didn't make the All-Decade team for the NFL as opposed to.
Is he a Hall of Famer? Getting there?
I think yes. I think he is. He can be. But I mean, I would have put Hines Ward in there easily above Terrell Owens. As one of the better receivers of the decade. The consistency, Super Bowl MVP, the numbers he puts up, the tough catches he makes, he keeps drives alive, and the consistency. He doesn't drop a lot of balls. And so, surprised about that, but I think it's a good group of guys. I think you've got to find another guy who's going to replace Hines Ward at some point in time to be that go-to guy. Santonio Holmes could be that breakaway guy and a go-to guy. But there's going to have to be some adjustments in the Steelers' scheme of throwing the football to make that happen. And they have to get a third receiver in there they can count on.
And Wallace, though, I mean.
If you love Baltimore sports, you'll love WNST.net.